Okay, let's see if this works. By the power of Grayskull, I have the power! What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and of course, ridiculousness. And we're talking about a Netflix series that ever since I saw the first trailer, I was pumped for, and it's the new kind of reboot from Kevin Smith, He-Man series, Masters of the Universe Revelation. The war for Eternia begins again in what may be the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor. So is this new Kevin Smith reboot a must-see this weekend on Netflix? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what your thoughts are of this updated series. If you've already seen it, if you are watching it right now, or very much excited to see what this has in store, I want to know down there in the comments down below. Now, let's get into some of the good. He-Man, Masters of the Universe. I personally did not watch this much growing up. I'm aware of a handful of the characters. I've seen a couple clips or a couple episodes here or there. Honestly, my biggest exposure is probably this. But getting into this reboot from Kevin Smith, like I've already said, and we will talk about him later on. The way that it's crafted, the way that it's written, the way that it's structured, everything about it feels exactly like an 80s, 90s Saturday morning cartoon. Put on your PJs, get a big bowl of cereal, go up close to the TV and just watch it and enjoy, because there is this eerie sense of 80s and 90s nostalgia that is oozing out of this show, essentially. From the writing, again, that we'll get into, the aesthetic, just everything about it, where just an example, the opening of each of the episodes, kind of the title screen of how you remember old kind of serialized cartoons were, where it has the title of the episode, that again just feels so nostalgic here. And once you get into the opening 5 or 10 minutes of episode 1, it feels like that kind of 80s cheese and stuff, because again, the action figures were made then into the show and whatnot, and with this being a little bit updated or brought into this decade, you think that they might, change a few things. No, this feels, from the characters, the vehicles, the way they interact with one another, still has that eerie amount of 80s nostalgic cheese, essentially, that works perfectly of, hey, we're going to take this seriously, but we're paying homage and where these characters and vehicles and just lore comes from. So I absolutely love that. Again, this is a Saturday morning cartoon that I was so on board for. And I think the mastermind behind this, obviously Kevin Smith. He's not the only one, but he's the one that created it. He co-wrote, got all of these people voice cast and everything together to really build up this series. And I think that his writing and jokes and humor, and again, probably 80s nostalgia or love for this cartoon or franchise is in this 100%, because again, what I just talked about earlier of all of the homages and, paying attention to the lore, but the writing between the characters feels so wonderful, because again, it steers into kind of more adult, emotional weighted conflict and situations that the characters get into, but also has a wonderful amount of, again, that kind of 80s writing in those cartoons of having a joke or a pun that feels very, again, 80s cheese, but it works in the context of everything and these characters. So it's paying homage that way of kind of the goofy humor, but also there's jokes and humor that is obviously Kevin Smith's writing, where it's a little bit more adult-centric, maybe an innuendo here or there, that again, I thought worked and kind of updated that into this decade or this new era of this show or of this lore of He-Man, Masters of the Universe. And obviously with Kevin Smith being the mastermind behind this, he's going to bring in some people he's worked with previously for voice acting and a handful of other things. So you have Justin Long in there, you have Jason Mewes, you have a handful of other people, but fantastic voice acting from Chris Wood, Mark Hamill, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Lena Headey, Alicia Silverstone, and Kevin Conroy. Like, you have some of the greats of voice acting here in this, and it shows. Like, Mark Hamill as Skeletor is so perfect. Literally, that is great casting. He is fantastic as that character. But everyone else, including a new character that they add, which I won't say anything much more, but Tiffany Smith is voicing that character, and I think that that was a wonderful added addition into this world and lore as well. But rounding this thing out for Masters of the Universe Revelation, like, again, I am giving this high marks because I fully enjoyed it. But it's the story at the end of the day that kept me invested, that drew me in, that made me get emotional, that wanted me to cheer on these essentially ridiculous characters. You know, we have Man-at-Arms, we have Beast-Man, we have He-Man, we have Merman, like all of the different men characters. They are wonderful here, but it's the story and the characters, or the scrambles that those characters get into, that kept me invested, because there's those fun parts, like I said, where the humor is bouncing back and forth, kind of the interactions between characters. There's some action-packed sequences, one side fighting another, fighting over Castle Grayskull, and you don't know which way it's going to go, but again, it feels like that action-packed 80s Saturday morning cartoon. But each of the episodes, I think, carried almost a lesson or emotional weight of the characters, of the decisions, of what the characters essentially get into, that carried such an emotional connection to wanting them to survive, to wanting them to get out of this situation. Like, I don't really have much of a connection to this lore or these characters, but throughout each episode of either the lesson or the emotional struggle that a character had to go through, I think that it was written and structured in such a way that really kept me invested. And the thing is, each character, like I mentioned a little bit, listing off the characters, they each have a time to shine in the episodic nature of everything, where each episode very much kind of has a story or a plot beat for certain characters, or for them to really shine, but then also those episodic kind of plot points or adventures tie into the overarching story in these first 5 episodes. Now, this is where I have my one and only tiny problem. I want more right now. So essentially, this series is broken up into 2 different parts. We have 5 episodes here. We have to wait a little bit and then get 5 more episodes later on. I wish that we would have gotten all of the episodes right now, because the way that this first 5 episodes goes and the way that it ends, I am wanting even more right now. Just the way everything is set up, I am looking forward to part 2 day 1. Overall, Masters of the Universe Revelation is a kick-ass, like, 80s, 90s Saturday morning cartoon. With it, again, hitting that kind of nostalgia factor, really knowing the lore and the love for the characters and this franchise. Kevin Smith, his writing and structure, voice acting, literally everything you want in this is hitting on all cylinders. My only problem is I wish we got more of this right now. This is a must-see for any fan of the franchise over the years, but if you also want to get kind of a nostalgic 80s, 90s Saturday morning, get some cereal feel, I don't know what it was about it, but that's exactly how I felt watching this first kind of part of the series. In closing, I'm going to give Masters of the Universe Revelation 5 out of 5 what's going on. So what did you all think of Masters of the Universe Revelation? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Is this exactly what you want, and you want them to just keep making this for season after season after season? I want to know in the comments down below, because my lord, I don't want to stop talking about this, because it's been sitting with me for a couple days after finishing it. I absolutely loved it. But anyways, though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there, or right over there, you know, brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, check out all of my other content, including my TikTok and new JBuck Shorts channel. Go and subscribe to that. Please, please, please like this video, and until next time, we'll see you later.